Imagine walking through thousands of bright red gates that seem to stretch forever. Every year, millions of people visit this magical place in Kyoto. But Fushimi Inari Taisha is more than a beautiful tourist attraction. It is the most important Inari shrine in all of Japan. So why has this sacred place attracted worshippers for more than 1,000 years? Let's explore the history and beliefs behind Fushimi Inari Taisha. Fushimi Inari Taisha is a Shinto shrine located in the Fushimi area of Kyoto, Japan. Today, it is officially known as Fushimi Inari Taisha. However, for centuries it was simply called Inari Shrine. The current name was adopted in 1946. The shrine's main buildings stand at the base of Mount Inari. But the sacred site is much larger than the buildings themselves. The entire mountain is considered holy ground. In fact, Mount Inari itself is an object of worship. Fushimi Inari Taisha is also known as the head shrine of Inari worship. Across Japan, there are believed to be around 30,000 Inari shrines. All of them trace their spiritual roots back to this shrine. Every new year, it attracts some of the largest crowds of worshippers in Western Japan. Today, it remains one of the country's most important and visited shrines. The story of Fushimi Inari begins with Mount Inari. The shrine stands on the western side of this sacred mountain. Long ago, people believed that gods lived within the mountain's three main peaks. Rather than worshipping a building, they worshipped the mountain itself. At first, Inari was mainly worshipped as a god of agriculture. For people whose lives depended on successful harvests, this deity was extremely important. Good crops meant survival. Over time, Japanese society changed. Trade, industry, and business became more important. As a result, Inari also became known as a protector of commerce and prosperity. Because of this, not only farmers but also merchants, craftsmen, and business owners began praying to Inari. This helped spread the faith throughout Japan. The popularity of Inari worship can be seen in Japan's classical literature. One of Japan's most famous writers, Sei Shonagon, mentioned her visits to Inari in the Pillow Book. The shrine also appears in other important works, including the Kajiro Diary and Konjaku Monogatari. These references show that Fushimi Inari was already a well-known place hundreds of years ago. One especially important day was the first horse day of February according to the traditional calendar. According to legend, this was the day when the deity descended upon Mount Inari. Large numbers of worshippers gathered on this day. The tradition continues even now. These stories show how deeply connected the shrine was to everyday life in ancient Japan. During the Heian period, Fushimi Inari became even more influential. When Toji Temple was established in Kyoto, Fushimi Inari was chosen as its guardian shrine. This created a close relationship between Shinto and esoteric Buddhism. As these traditions became connected, Inari worship spread across the country. The shrine's status continued to rise. It was listed among the most important shrines in the Enjishiki, an official government record from the 10th century. Then, in the year 942, it received the highest possible divine rank, known as senior first rank. Many powerful historical figures helped support and maintain the shrine. Among them were Fujiwara no Tokihira, Minamoto no Yoritomo, and Ashikaga Yoshinori. Their contributions helped the shrine grow and flourish throughout Japanese history. During the Unin War, one of Japan's most destructive civil conflicts, all of the shrine buildings were destroyed by fire. Yet the faith itself survived. After the war, Buddhist priests associated with the shrine led efforts to rebuild it. The reconstruction continued for many years. Finally, in 1499, a new shrine complex was completed. A ceremonial transfer of the sacred deity was then held. This rebuilding effort reflected the deep devotion people felt toward Inari. In later centuries, religious groups dedicated to Inari worship helped spread the faith throughout Japan. Their efforts played a major role in establishing the thousands of Inari shrines that exist today. Today, the most recognizable feature of Fushimi Inari Taisha is its endless tunnels of red torii gates. These gates have become one of the most famous sights in Japan. Their story began during the Meiji era. At that time, the Japanese government separated Shinto and Buddhism. Many Buddhist buildings inside the shrine grounds disappeared. At the same time, worshippers increasingly began donating torii gates. People donated them to express gratitude for answered prayers. Others donated them while praying for success in business. As more gates were added, the mountain pathways became lined with thousands of bright red torii. Visitors can now walk through these seemingly endless corridors of gates. The mountain is also filled with small sacred sites called otsuka. Together, these features create the mystical landscape that attracts visitors from around the world today. Even after Shinto and Buddhism were officially separated, the relationship between Fushimi Inari and Toji Temple never completely disappeared. That connection can still be seen today. On the final day of the annual Inari festival, Buddhist monks from Toji Temple bring offerings to the shrine's eastern gate. As the sacred portable shrine returns, they recite Buddhist sutras. This unique ceremony preserves a tradition that has continued for centuries. It serves as a reminder of the long history shared by these two important religious institutions. Fushimi Inari Taisha is much more than a famous tourist destination. It is the spiritual center of approximately 30,000 Inari shrines across Japan. What began as the worship of an agricultural deity gradually expanded into a faith associated with prosperity, commerce, and success. For centuries, people have come here to pray, give thanks, and seek blessings. The shrine survived wars, destruction, and rebuilding. Yet its traditions have continued without interruption. Today, the endless red torii gates remain one of the most iconic sights in Japan. They attract visitors from every corner of the world. More importantly, they stand as a symbol of Japan's history, culture, and enduring spiritual traditions. Fushimi Inari Taisha is not only one of Kyoto's most famous landmarks. It is a living connection to the beliefs and history of Japan itself.